So Prabhupada's Samadhi, where they put, Prabhupada's body, they at 4:10 in the morning they sing samsara prayers that we sing every day, and then at 4:30 in the main temple room they sing this song every day. So 68. All right, so I'll just sing. I guess I'll just sing the 2 lines and then everybody could respond. So the first 2 lines and then everybody responds. I guess we could do it like that. Vibhava Shesha Aloka Pravesha Nidrachari Uta Jiva Vibhavare Shesha Aloka Pravesha Nidrachari Uta Jiva Bolo Bolo Hari Mukunda Murari Ram Krishna Hayagriva Narsingha Vamana Srimadhusudana Vrajendra Nandana Shama Putana Gatana Kaitapashatana Jaya Dasharati Rama Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara Gopi Priya Jana Radha Karamana Bhuvana Sundara Vahara Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Vahara Ravana Takara Makana Taskara Gopi Jana Vastra Hari Ravana Takara Makana Taskara Gopi Jana Vastra Hari Vrajara Rakala Gopa Vrindapala Chitta Hari Vangshidari Brajara Rakala Gopa Vrinda Pala Chitta Hari Vangshida Hari Yogendra Vandana Shinandanandana Braja Jana Bayahari Navina Nirara Rupa Manohara Mohana Vangshi Vihari Yashoda Nandana Kamsina Sudana Nikunjara Savilasi Kadamba Kanana Rasa Prayayana Vrinda Vipina Nivasi Ananda Vadana Premini Ketana Pulashara Yojakakama Gopanga Ganana Chitta Vinodana Samasta Guna Ganadama Yamuna Jivana Kili Prayayana Manasa Chandra Chakora Namasudharasa Go Krishna Yasa Rakom Vachanam Manamohora Vibhavare Shesha Aloka Pravesha Nidrachari Uttajiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Ram Krishna Haya Giva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Ram Krishna Haya Giva Where's Mr. Damodar? Cooking breakfast? Oh, okay. It's half-day fast. So today is the divine appearance of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Srila Prabhupada's guru's, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's father, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And it wasn't just his father, but he, obviously he's a great Vaishnava, great devotee. And I'm going to read the translation. He's a great Vaishnava, great devotee. And, Bhaktivinoda Thakur didn't initiate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That's generally not the practice for father to initiate son. But still, in many ways, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's guru. We'll hear about him and read about him and talk about him. And this particular song we just sang, it is a song written by him. And again, for those of you who may not have been here, every morning in the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan, our ISKCON temple, devotees sing this song at 4:30 to 5, instead of what we usually sing. What we usually sing, the prayers to Spiritual Master Samsara, and that's sang in Prabhupada's Samadhi at 4:10 in the morning. So we'll just read the translation, or I'll read the translation to the song. The night has come to an end, and the light of dawn is entering. O Jiva soul, arise and give up your sleep. Chant the holy names of Lord Hari, who is the giver of liberation, the enemy of the Mora demon, the supreme enjoyer, the all-attractive one, and the horse-headed incarnation, Hayagriva. Lord Hari Krishna incarnated as the half-man, half-lion Nrsimha. He appeared as a dwarf Brahman named Upendra and is the killer of the Madhu demon. He is the beloved son of the king of Vraj, Nanda Maharaj, and is blackish in complexion. He is the slayer of the Putana witch. In the destroyer of the demon Kaitaba, all glories to Lord Hari, who appeared as Lord Ram, the son of King Dasarath. He is the darling of Mother Yashoda, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, and the protector of the cows. He is the Lord of Vrindavan Forest, the gopis' beloved, the lover of Radhika, and the most beautiful personality in all the worlds. As Ramchandra put an end to the demoniac king Ravana, as Krishna in his childhood he stole butter from the elder gopis, and in his youth he stole the clothes of the younger gopis while they bathed in the Yamuna. He is a cowherd boy of Vraj, and the protector of the cowherd boys. He stills the hearts of all, and always holds a flute. Lord Krishna is worshipped by the best of yogis. He is the son of Nanda. He removes all the fears of inhabitants of Vraj. He is the color of a fresh rain cloud, and his form is enchanting. While he wanders about playing his flute, he looks very charming. He is the son of Yashoda and the killer of King Kamsa, and he sports in the rasa dance among the groves of Vraj. Krishna engages in the rasa dance beneath the Kadamba trees, and he resides in the forest of Vrindavan. He increases the ecstasy of his devotees. He is the reservoir of all love, and is the transcendental Cupid who shoots his flower arrows to increase the loving desires of the gopis. He is the pleasure of the gopis' hearts, and the abode of all wonderful qualities. Lord Krishna is the life of the river Yamuna. He is always absorbed in amorous pastimes, and he is the moon for the chakora birds of the gopis' minds. And there's a little footnote that says, chakoras subsist only upon moonlight. O mind, obey these words of mine, and sing the glories of Sri Krishna in the form of these holy names, which are full of nectarian mellows. So the song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. All right, Joe. Thanks. All right, so I'll just read a little bit about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So it says, Sri Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared in 1838 in a wealthy family in the Nadia district, West Bengal. He revealed that he is an eternal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his extraordinary preaching activities and prolific writing. Living as a Mahabhagavat Vaishnav, he stayed in the Grihastha ashram until the last few years of his life. Then he renounced everything, accepted Babaji, and entered Samadhi. Totally absorbed in loving service of Gaur Gadadhar and Radha Madhav. Period. He had a responsible government position as a district magistrate, high court judge, maintained a Krishna-conscious family, and wrote almost 100 books on Krishna consciousness. At the same time, he served the Supreme Lord in so many ways. That is the beauty of his life. After a full day of government service, he would sleep 4 hours, get up at midnight and write until morning. That was his daily program. Quote by Prabhupada. Thakur Bhaktivinoda took Vaishnav Diksha from Sri Vipin Vihari Goswami in the line of Sri Janava Mata. Afterwards, he received spiritual inspiration and direction from Sri Jagannath Das Babaji. Holding an exalted government post, vast erudition, and spiritual accomplishment never disturbed Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He remained prideless, always humble, friendly to all. Charity seekers at his home always felt happy and satisfied. A well-wisher to everyone, he never kept grudges, even with opponents to his preaching. In fact, he never spoke a word that would hurt another's feelings. The Thakur was always courageous and acted for everyone's welfare. Keeping personal needs to a minimum, he led the simplest of life, said one devotee. In the following entry from Sharanagati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who had all pure divine qualities, takes the role of a conditioned soul to teach us how to advance in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So he said, you should always absorb your mind in attentively chanting Krishna's glories. By performing Krishna kirtan, you'll gain mastery over the mind. Give up all false pride. Always think yourself to be worthless, destitute, lower, and more humble than the straw on the street. Practice forgiveness like the tree. Giving up all violence toward other living entities, you should maintain them. Throughout your life, you should never give anxiety to others, but do good to them, make them happy, and forget about your own happiness. Thus, when you become a pious, good soul by possessing all good qualities, you should give up desires for fame and honor, and just make your heart humble. Knowing that Lord Sri Krishna lives within all living beings, you should respect and honor everyone at all times. You will attain virtue by being humble, merciful, respecting others, and renouncing desires for fame and honor. In such a state, you should sing the glories of the Supreme Lord. Weeping, Bhaktivinoda submits his prayer at the lotus feet of the Lord. O Lord, when will you give me such qualities as these? And it said that he made 3 predictions. It says a personality will soon appear, wrote Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he will travel all over the world to spread the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So he's talking about Prabhupada. And the second prediction, very soon the chanting of Krishna's name will spread all over the world. Oh, when will that day come when people from America, England, France, Germany, Russia will take up kartals and mridangas and chant Hare Krishna in their own towns. And the third prediction was that when will that day come when the fair-skinned foreigners will come to Mayapur Dham and join with the Bengali Vaishnavas to chant Jai Satchidananda and Jai Satchidananda? When will that day be? It said his schedule was very strict and pretty intense. It said that he would sleep for 3 hours, kind of like Glenn, right? He'd sleep for 3 hours, and then he would write for 8.5 hours, and japa and study for 4.5 hours, and then he would work for 6 hours. It's pretty intense. Om Ganatipadandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshul Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karitavachalam Pangam Nangai Tegirim Yakripatam Ham Vande Shri Gurun Diritaranam Vancha Kapadubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it says that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, not that it's said, but he was. He's coming from the spiritual world, and in the spiritual world says that he is a, says here, Kamala Manjari. So he is a Manjari, which means a maidservant or servant maidservant of Srimati Radharani. So he's a personal associate of Srimati Radharani. So he came to this world and appeared in 1838. And he was, large part of his life he was married. He was a grihasta. And it says that he had 10 children or something like that. He had he had quite a few children. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was one of them. But unlike most people, unlike most people, he didn't at all identify with any material designation. So, yes, he was a householder externally, but he never really identified with that. In other words, he didn't have a false ego that thought, yes, I'm a householder, or I'm a responsible householder, right? I make money and I donate it to the sadhus, I donate it to the saintly people, hopefully. That's what householders should do, by the way. That's their dharma. It says in the Bhagavad Gita and so many other places to give charity to saintly persons, and someone may say, oh, well, maybe they're not saintly, so therefore I'm not giving my donation. Well, there has to be somebody out there who's saintly to give donations to, so if you don't have faith in them, then you could find somebody who is saintly. There's somebody out there. But it says charity. The household should give charity to the other ashrams, to support the other ashrams, the brahmacharya, vanaprastha, sannyas, and also the temples and so on. Or else just become materialistic mindset sets in, which isn't good. So, but yeah, he wasn't thinking, oh, I'm a householder and I'm giving so much donations, and he wasn't identifying. There wasn't any false ego there. He's very humble, as it's being stated here, prideless, humble, and that's an important lesson because the tendency is to identify with social positions, with designations that we find ourselves in. It's very difficult not to. Just like a brahmachari, oh, I'm a very austere, detached brahmachari. Well, no, you're not. You're an eternal spirit soul, and you just happen to have some material designation as a brahmachari. Or I'm a dutiful householder and I give charity, or I'm this, I'm that, I'm so many things, but that's not really the case. These are all just temporary designations. Man, woman, all these things. So that's what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. He says that one should think of themselves as Gopi Bhartu Kamalor Dasa Dasa Anadasa. Says that, and then he says, I'm not a brahmachari, I'm not a grihasta, I'm not a vanaprastha, I'm not a sannyasi, I'm not a shudra, I'm not a kshatriya, brahmin, all these different things. He says, but who am I? I am an eternal servant of the servant of the servant of, removed so many times, of Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. So that's important for us to think about. Actually, it says we should think about that every day. And those who do altar service, there's certain mantras you chant before you worship the deities, before you dress the deities, and some of those mantras, it's like purification. You're purifying your subtle body, you're purifying your conscience or whatever. And it says that some of those mantras are reminders about who we actually are, and so on. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was such an exalted personality that even amidst so much, you could say, material opulence, such as being a high district court being a high court judge, and in the midst of so many family responsibilities, so many children, so many things to do, still he didn't fall into illusion. He never fell into illusion. So this is the glory of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And so that's one thing we could appreciate about him, among many things, that he was completely transcendental. And he stayed like that at Grihastha throughout his life, and then the last few years it said that he accepted Babaji. So it means he just renounced all duties, and he just chanted Hare Krishna and worshiped Krishna. That's what he did. So this is another example. It's not that one should just continue on and on and on and on and on and on and on with material duties, or specifically duties that aren't supremely holy and solely, fully Krishna conscious, or fully Krishna activities. Okay, one may work, right? They may get that money and use it to maintain themselves and their family members, and et cetera, but ultimately, specifically at the end of one's life, the injunction is to give all that up and just full-on meditation on Krishna. So we could also learn that from him, that we have to put a break on our you could say, duties in this world. And someone would say, hey, well, I'm not getting close to that. I'm a young person, right? I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, so how does that relate to me? Well, every day we need to put a break on our activities. Not that we just go, and there's so much to do. People are texting all day long, their friends, their families, business, this, that, school, work, and just so much. You got to put a break on it every day. There has to be a time frame every day where we don't do any of that. We just say, even if we have to do it, even if we just have to put a break on it and chant our rounds and read and do other spiritual activities, or else those things just completely overtake our lives. So whether it's at the end of life or day-to-day basis, we could learn from that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, on a daily basis, he would make time. He was so busy. Sometimes devotees say, oh, I'm so busy, I can't chant my rounds. I have so much service at the temple. You know what Prabhupada's answer was? He said, sleep less. And that's exactly what Bhaktivinoda Thakur did. He slept less. He slept for 3 hours. So, or someone's, I have to go to school, I have to go to work, I can't chant my rounds. I could only chant a certain amount. 2 hours a day, it's possible. And again, Prabhupada said sleep less. Sometimes people think they need to sleep 12 hours a day, or 10 hours a day, or whatever, but you could actually get by with less, depending on who you are. But so yes, he didn't identify. He put a break on it at the end of his life, and of course, even amidst all that, it's not that he wouldn't, he didn't fall into illusion, but still, as a matter of example, and just as a matter of what Vaishnavas do, he put a break on it. So those are, and another thing, his very wonderful character. So, prideless, humble, friendly to all. So these are different qualities that devotees develop. So we should hear these qualities. Prabhupada, he put these 26 qualities. Maybe we should do that in the ashram. or you could do it in your houses or your apartments or whatever. But you get the 26 qualities of a devotee. That's what Prabhupada did, and he put it on the wall in the ashram on 22nd Avenue. And he gave some instructions, what devotees should do, attend the morning program, and etc. And the idea is that, okay, fine, by engaging in Krishna consciousness, one will automatically develop these. That's true. That one will develop these qualities. But still, it doesn't hurt to try to develop these qualities. Of course, we should try to be Krishna conscious and automatically develop, but still, in other words, we should try to be humble. We should think, okay, am I being humble? Am I being respectful? Am I being envious? And then we should check those things. Try to get rid of them. His wonderful character, everybody was impressed. And that is actually the way to preach. Sometimes people wonder, well, how do I preach? How do I spread Krishna consciousness? Oh, you spread Krishna consciousness by being a good devotee. That's how you spread Krishna consciousness. I mean, that's how Prabhupada spread Krishna consciousness. He, not just a good devotee, a pure devotee. That's how he spread Krishna consciousness. That's how any devotee spread Krishna consciousness, by being good devotees, pure devotees. And those who just try to do it for some time and don't really develop devotion or pure devotee qualities, and they stop doing it. So the test that somebody's actually, or one of the tests that somebody's actually a good devotee, is that they're able to do it for year in and year and year and years after years. They're able to keep up their spreading of Krishna consciousness. Like we had one boy here, he would go out on books with me, and he was actually pretty good. He was young and energetic, and right, and he would distribute a lot more than me actually. I was never really a good book distributor. Still not, but how long did that continue? He stopped after some time because he just wasn't working on being a devotee. Although he was okay with distributing books, but he wasn't really working on being a devotee, so he stopped. So a half-hearted or passionate endeavor to be Krishna conscious is not good enough. We can't just passionately engage in Krishna consciousness without really understanding the philosophy and without trying to be devotees and actually be successful. Eventually we give it up. So that's how that's how we spread Krishna consciousness, by having a clean heart. Purity is the force. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had that purity, and therefore he inspired so many devotees, and also he passed this purity on to his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He trained his son up from a very young age. Gave him deity to worship, gave him the holy name, and so on. And the purity, the intensity, the devotion, the just enthusiasm that Bhaktivinoda Thakur had, he passed that on to his son. And he told his son, you should preach, you should spread Krishna consciousness. And his father Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur felt so much inspiration from his father that, by his association, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, of course, he's coming from the spiritual world as well, but that fueled in him a lot of enthusiasm to spread Krishna consciousness. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as the tradition has it that you don't initiate your son, or someone doesn't initiate their son, he said you should take initiation from Gorgashodas Babaji Maharaj. And Gorgashodas Babaji Maharaj is in the middle there of our altar, the pictures. And that's a whole pastime in itself. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur accepted initiation from Gorgashodas Babaji, but eventually he did it. And eventually, as time has it, Bhaktivinoda Thakur left this world, and Gorkashodas Babaji left this world. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur really inspired him a lot and really fueled his Krishna consciousness in so many ways. And then he left the world, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his guru, Gorkashodas Babaji, around the same time. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, at that time he had a following of some disciples, and he just went into seclusion. He was transcendentally, depressed. And he was thinking, who's going to hear my writing? Who am I going to go to and share my writings to? Who's going to chastise me? Who's going to instruct me? Who's going to inspire me in Krishna consciousness? What am I going to do now? My father's gone, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Gorkashodas Babaji, my spiritual, both of them are gone. So then, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was in this mood, it says that he had like a dream, or specifically like a vision, in which Bhaktivinoda Thakur came in the vision, and Gorkashodas Babaji, and other acharyas, and Panchatattva came, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, all these different devotees, or all the Panchatattva came. And apparently they came in some type of kirtan party. At least that's what seems to be. And they told him, do not worry, in essence, do not worry, we're here with you, we're always with you, and please be inspired to spread Krishna consciousness and, expand the glories of Mayapur Dham and expand the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then they disappeared. And after that, he came out of his seclusion. He was smiling and something changed. The disciples could see that. His whole mood changed, and he was transcendently inspired. Of course, he's always inspired, but especially inspired. And then he came out, and I believe shortly after that he met Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his enthusiasm passed down to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's enthusiasm passed down to Srila Prabhupada. And hopefully Prabhupada's enthusiasm is passing down to us, to Prabhupada's disciples, which they are. And hopefully, after Srila Prabhupada's disciples who are getting Srila Prabhupada's enthusiasm, hopefully that enthusiasm is passed to us. So, and enthusiasm, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur and all our acharyas are super enthusiastic, that is one of the most important things in Krishna consciousness, enthusiasm. If one doesn't have enthusiasm, they can't really do anything. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, one who has life, he could preach. A dead man can't preach. So you have to have life. You have to have enthusiasm. And those who chant Gayatri mantras, Brahmins, second initiated devotees, which everybody should become, by the way. Everybody should take second initiation and cook for the deities, and specifically they should go on the altar and do service and, get close to Krishna. That's what Gaudiya Vaishnavism is all about, getting close to Krishna. And, close to devotees, like servant of the servant. But getting close to Krishna in the form of the deity, that's why they're here. So that's my conviction, that everybody should take second initiation and go on the altar if they can. So in those mantras that the second initiated devotees chant, they're mantras about the spiritual master, there's mantras about Lord Chaitanya, and there's mantras about Krishna and other. So in those mantras it says that, won't get in full details and descriptions of all that, but in relation to a lot of them, these mantras, it's saying that please enthuse me, please enthuse me, please enthuse me. So they're prayers to the spiritual master, Lord, please enthuse me. which devotees chant 3 times a day, morning, noon, and evening. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was super enthusiastic. He was extremely enthusiastic, inconceivably enthusiastic. And so his purity combined with his enthusiasm made him very successful. So we need both, not just a passionate endeavor, but we need purity as also, enthusiasm, purity. And he was so enthusiastic that he got so much done. That's how you know someone's enthusiastic, when they get something done. I mean, they may be enthusiastic, but just not efficient or not, able to manage things or something. But best is to be enthusiastic and get a lot done, rather than being enthusiastic and get a little done. So he would sleep 3 hours a day, as it said. Prabhupada said 4 hours. Here is saying 3 hours, so something like that. Which is not very much. I mean, you have if you sleep 4 hours a day, that means you're up 20 hours, right? You're up 19 hours, or 21 hours, whatever. So that's what he would do, and he would write for 8.5 hours. That's a lot of writing. I mean, try writing for 8.5 hours every day, and then chanting for 4 hours, and then he would work for 6 hours. He would go, and he was a court. He was a judge, so he'd work for 6 hours. So this idea of being efficient in one's time, or planning one's day, one's life in such a way where one could do a lot for Krishna is really important. That's exactly what he did. And also this idea of conquering sleep. That's what the 6 Goswamis did. They conquer sleep. So they conquered other things too, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, but they conquered sleep. Now, if someone is not sufficiently advanced, then they cannot do without a certain amount of sleep. Means they'll get 4 hours of sleep. Hey, Bhaktivinoda Thakur got 4 hours of sleep. I could do it too. Or I'll get 3 hours of sleep. And then after that, in the morning, they're falling asleep chanting their japa. In a 2-hour period, which you're supposed to chant more or less 16 rounds, they chant 2 rounds or something because they've fallen in and out of consciousness for 2 hours. Or they snap, they lose their cool, they lose their temper with devotees because, they didn't get enough sleep, or they're just unpleasant to be around because they didn't get enough sleep for so many different reasons. And so on. So in other words, by trying to imitate, one won't be successful. So generally, Srila Prabhupada 6 hours. He said 6 hours, or he would say 6 hours one during the day, 7 hours. And he said if one does more than that, then it's just considered too much, just wasting time. Now, of course, everybody's different. I mean, there's farmers out there who maybe need more sleep, or there's people out there who, in general, may need more sleep. But the thing is to somehow try to conquer that, the desire. And to be so engaged that you're actually happy or awake rather than asleep. Some people take their pleasure in sleeping, but if you take your pleasure in Krishna consciousness and being awake, then that's better. And of course, we need to sleep, all that. But the idea is to somehow to conquer it, not be completely controlled by it. So that's what he did. He was able to control it, and he was completely transcendental, so there's just beyond all that. And therefore they would call him the 7th Goswami, because there's the 6 Goswamis, he'd be called the 7th Goswami. And these wonderful predictions, he wrote 100 books. He discovered the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, And all these predictions, soon there'll be chanting of Hare Krishna all over the world. There'll be a person who comes, who spreads it all over the world. And soon the devotees, there'll be people who come from all over the world to Mayapur, to India, Mayapur, Dham. And they will all get together and they'll chant, Jai Sachidnandan, Jai Sachidnandan. But Shachi is Lord Chaitanya's mother, Nandana, one who gives pleasure. So Lord Chaitanya is one who gives pleasure to Mother Shachi. So chanting the names of Lord Chaitanya. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, for so many years, for thousands of years, for hundreds of years, there was just more or less Bengali Vaishnavas, means that those who were born in Bengal, right? You were born there, right? Like him and so many others, thousands of them. It was just them, that's it. Bengali Vaishnavas. And maybe some from Orissa throughout India. Mostly Bengal. Means people who were born in India, they would chant Jai Sachidnandan, Jai Sachidnandan, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya. There was no fairs, people from whatever. America and China and Russia and here and there and so many other. No, that was just unheard of. And devotees read this. Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers and many people read this, and they think, because it's stated in the Chaitanya Bhagavat that Lord Chaitanya says, my teachings will spread all over the world, the holy name. So devotees read this and they thought, oh, this is just like some poetic expression or something, and how is that ever going to happen? I mean, but Prabhupada read it, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur read it, said, yes, it's going to happen. So for hundreds of years, there was no other people from other places coming to Mayapur. And now, there's people coming from practically every country. Actually, yeah, people coming from every country of the world to Mayapur. And all getting together and chanting, glorifying Lord Chaitanya. So that was his prediction, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prediction. Specifically, there's a lot of Russians there. How many Russians are there? I mean, there's like so many. Sometimes I go to Mayapur and I think, oh, instead of Mayapur, maybe I'll just go to Russia next time, because there's so many Russians. I'll just go to Moscow next time because it's practically like the same thing. Going to Mayapur and going to Moscow, it's like the same thing. Not really, but there's a lot. It's I think thousands, especially during festival time. So somehow or other Russians are really, I don't know, but not so many Americans there. So that was his prediction, and all of them came true. The personality appeared, Srila Prabhupada, so he predicted Srila Prabhupada's appearance. And he said pretty soon they'll all come, when will that day come when they'll chant in their own towns, which is happening now all over the world. And then the day when they'll all come to Mayapur and chant together. So those things happen. And Srila Prabhupada, or Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote a book and he sent it to a university in Canada the year of Srila Prabhupada's birth, 1896. Right? 1896. So it's quite amazing that, and Srila Prabhupada, he said that this was significant, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the year of Srila Prabhupada's birth, sent one of his own books about Lord Chaitanya's life and precepts, to McGill University in Canada. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book came to Canada before Srila Prabhupada did. And eventually Prabhupada came. So there's so many things to learn from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There's so many songs. We sang one of them. We'll sing another one tonight. There's a program at somebody's house in Forest Ranch. And so these days we're supposed to meditate on these personalities, think about them, read their works, read their books, read their songs, pray to them. Vaishnavas never die, right? They're always living. And just try to somehow or other understand that we're actually in the line of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We're in the line of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So yes, it's also half-day fast. So break fast at noontime, so everybody will be nice and hungry. And then also at 11:50, even though Dravida Prabhu's not here, we still have to do it. At 11:50, we can meet here in the temple room, and we'll have Puspanjali. So we'll have a Guru Puja tray, and we'll offer arti to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then also flowers, and sing some songs, and then at 12:30 is when we break the fast. All right, so does anybody have any questions or comments? What was that?
Was South Russia right now, and that 5,000 devotees festival gathering.
In South Russia, there's 5,000 devotees.
Yeah, the Black Sea. It's finished right now. Was 11 last day, I think.
Oh, there was a big festival?
Yeah, 1 week.
Oh, 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week, 5,000 devotees in South Russia. That's a lot of devotees. You know how many devotees? That's a lot.
Yeah, 1 year, Ukraine, it was around 10,000.
Around 10,000, yeah. I mean, we have our Sadhu Sangha festival here in America, and there's 1,500 devotees who come. And some of them may not really be super, I keep on using the word super today for some reason, sorry. Some of them may not be really into, I mean, they're into it, but how much are they really, devoted, initiated and so on, or moving towards initiation. So in Russia, yeah, 5,000 devotees. So that means they're all wearing tilak, probably, right? And they're all hopefully initiated or getting close to initiation or heading towards that direction. They're all really enthusiastic. That's what I've seen anyways. It's amazing. One devotee made a post. Oh, 20 Maharajas there too? Huh? Oh, U.S. Maharajas. You have the picture right there? All right, you should pass it around right now. So this is for Bhaktivinoda Thakur's pleasure. If you could find it. So does anyone have any other comments or questions? What do you have to say, Glenn? What do you have to say? Nothing? Satisfied? Okay. Anyways, we could look at it afterwards. All right, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai.